Hello. Uh, Not too many technical difficulties this time. Just a few, but nothing major. I want you to see this pretty sparkly band I got. I'm going to spread it out a little bit. Ooh, it sparkles. Hey, what's up, guys? Well, okay, the message that I got about damage. Apparently, I'm not the only one who got this kind of a message. In fact, the people that, oh, I want to straighten it out a little bit here. There. Don't I look poor? No, that's perfect. Okay, loves. Ew. Aren't I gorgeous? I am indeed. No, loves. Okay, loves. Here's the thing. Oh, and by the way, let's see who is here already. 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 Wow. Barry, you always have a brain fart. That's what's in there. Haven't you figured it out? It's where you store them. I'm kidding. That's where you store your spare nose hairs. Oh, Linda is here. And Richard is here. And Barry is here. Barry has a lot of spare nose hair stored up in there. Let me tell you. Oh, no. He's a smart guy. So, yeah, apparently other people have been getting similar messages to what I'm getting, which is nice to know because I like to, although I don't rely on somebody else's corroboration, it's nice to have it. Somebody else getting the same message in their own way as I have. And today I actually got a good enough night's sleep to have a decent dream, to have we're all dead. Oh, okay. Hi. If you say so, Barry. Okay. Your dog left you, but your girlfriend bit you. Well, gosh. Yeah. Apparently, when you, I don't know, some of you may or may not have been there when I said that it's stuff has been damaged, and we need to heal it in order to go on, basically. However, I've been told that mine needs to actually be, well, it's damaged bad enough, it's going to end up getting replaced, some of my stuff. But once again, some of the seers at Farsight got basically a similar message that the mind wipes are brain damage. So every time you've been mind wiped, it's damaged you. And I know I've been wiped a lot, often, very often. It damages you because it's literally removing part of your info, part of your operating info goes too, I guess. So the only reason we don't have the godlike superpowers other ETs possess, because we're part ET too. We didn't originate here. I hope you've gotten over that. The crossbreeding maybe, but yeah, we're from the stars, just like the Native American, certain Native American tribes remember us being from the stars. And possibly also from the earth if we were taken under at some point to make sure that some of us survive the other resets. But we have that DNA too lurking, not really hooked up right. I know we didn't. Okay, which thing, Linda? I don't know when that came up. You know, we didn't something. Hi, Linda. Yeah, Farsight got similar thing. It's brain damage, intentional, and also from another source being in the stuff they're calling matrix psychosis, where it's very hard for people to both accept that this is matrix. Well, that was the idea. It was supposed to be very real. It was supposed to be totally immersive, and you were supposed to believe it's real. But that wasn't supposed to be permanent. Another thing that was not supposed to happen, you would think that we would have a system by when you die, you just go somewhere. You know, you leave and then you go somewhere. And the reason we even have stuck spirits is because that's been jacked with. That system should be automatic. That's what I'm getting. It was automatic. Supposed to be absent with the body is present with God. Absent from the body, present with God. As soon as you're gone, you're out, you're back home. It was never supposed to be like this. This was not the way it was designed. See, I knew that. Yeah, we knew this, right? This is, it makes sense. And obvious, because you pop out of your body before you die. You shouldn't be popping back. You shouldn't be trying to pop back. You shouldn't be popping back here. No, you shouldn't be reliving that death. That should not be happening. And I know what that is. That's the machine trying to eject you like it's supposed to, trying to send you back, but you can't go back. They blocked that. The virus blocked it. The virus screwed it up so it can't, and it keeps every now and then randomly trying to eject you, and it can't eject you. So here you are back again. The machine senses, wait a minute, they're not gone yet, tries to eject you again. You haven't relived your death over again. That's what these people are going through. We freed a bunch of them. Always be proud of yourselves that we did that. You know what? I never heard of anybody trying to do that in my whole life. And we went boldly and did that, crazy as it was, dangerous as it might have been. We did it, okay? That was part of our mission, and we did it. Those people had been trapped a long time. When I first realized it, made me so sad. It's like, oh, that's horrible. I have the silver covering the item today. I'm going to try covering the machinery instead of myself and see how that works. Thank you, Micah. So, yeah, this really hurt me when I realized what was happening. This is not the way we designed it at all. I can tell you, we would never design it that way. I mean, think about it. So you and I, we did something very heroic. And don't ever put yourself down, because that took guts, okay? Nobody's ever done that in history that we know of. Okay, so really, we have a lot to feel good about. And the matrix psychosis, people who, well, that takes to manifest. That manifests in that, first of all, you're having, pretty soon you're going to see that, yep, my hair is moving. You're going to see different hairstyles, because I have found my cache of hair. So, but my own hair is going to go blonde like this very soon, as I can get myself together to do it. So, I'm Enigma Catholic version. We are wearing cloaks. Yeah, we have to get ourselves to the point of being awake. We have to heal our minds. Okay. We have been given intentional brain damage. The machine is starting to be repaired. The virus is on the way out. It's being eliminated. The old paradigm is falling. The inverted matrix is dead, basically, and we helped kill it. Okay, so feel good about that. We helped kill the inverted matrix. It took a lot of us. It took a lot of us. So we did that. Okay, and the thing is, a lot of us are getting the message. Yes, that's absolutely, we did it. No joke, we did it. But now we got to heal ourselves, because one of the other things that the psychosis is you still get flashbacks from inverted matrix, and you still have the mindset of the inverted matrix, and we're always waiting for the other shoe to drop on us. Okay, when's that other shoe going to drop on us? And you know, that kind of mindset. And it's hard to get out of that once you're locked in, once they got you all locked and programmed into, now, it's like, yeah, now they're expecting the worst. And the idea is getting you to expect the worst, you create the worst. Remember, I told you we're creators, you're divine, you are. You create, we do. We create this reality, co-create this reality, okay? So basically, we've been used to create a terrible reality. We have to get a hold of that ourselves and use it for our own benefit, and discreate them, all of this crap, right out of existence. We could. Oh, we could. Yeah, we could. If we could only get our minds around it, we could completely recreate this. And I say, yeah, smelly shoes. That's right. With maybe even dog poop on them. Anyway, yeah. Hey, Titan. So that's the thing we're kind of dealing with here, is we have to realize we've been programmed to create the wrong thing. Nothing for our own benefit, but everything for some other, for this inverted matrix. This inverted matrix program has been, we've all been touched by this. And it's going to take some doing to heal that. Micah, I hope you're ready, because this is going to be a big job, okay? But it's going to take all of us working on this. Cindy's not back yet, I guess. Yeah. It's going to take a lot, but we're going to have to manufacture good stuff happening. We're going to have to manufacture it ourselves, because the dying off ones are not going to do that. Okay, I mean the ones that are they know they're on their way out, though. They've got to know that. They've got to know time is just about up. Well, they're probably going to fight even harder because time is just about up, right? Because that's the way it goes. You know what? Give me a minute. I'm going to put on the, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so part of our healing efforts, first of all, is don't get any more damage. I mean, that's part of what we got to do, is not be sure to not give ourselves any worse damage than we've already got. Let's see. Well, actually, let me open this and we'll get this going, and I'll explain more. Okay. Honestly, we got work ahead of us, but we're on the home stretch, I think. I don't think this is going to be able to pull us back like it used to. We have had really different energy lately. I mean, we've had our ups and downs, but we have not had anything like some of the stuff we were wrestling with, you know, even when we were, whoops, there it is. There's the intro. One day I'll get good at this, guys. It's just that I don't want to spend, I find myself really not wanting to spend too much time in with the Wi-Fi on, or I would have this all queued up properly. But I know that every time I turn on the Wi-Fi, I'm cooking myself. So I'm going to put on my intro and let a few more people come in and say hi, everybody. Ooh, geese. Ooh, gooses. Barry's going to goose ya. Okay, be right back. I'm going to play the intro. There we go. It's always nice to have an intro, isn't it? Give me time to sneeze. My nose is running and I have to go catch it. Okay. And there we go. Alrighty then.
and navigating a lot of Mercury retrograde stuff. Because that's
that'll be coming up again. Oh, yes, we got to get ready for the next retrograde because we have definitely got to get ready for the next retrograde because we're going to use it. We're going to use that next Mercury retrograde. Hey, Pam made it in. Drake made it in. Titan. So now we got Titan 2 and we have, let's see, we got some peoples in here. Okay. And, we have, if anybody has any doubts that we have been farmed, really, why do you have any doubts that we have been farmed? So it was interesting because Freedom Grower came into Max's show when I was on, one of the times I was on Max's show, and he says, do you think that what's going to happen is we're going to end up being farmed and so on? And I said, dude, both Max and I said at the same time practically, dude, we're being farmed. We've been farmed. It's already happened. We already remote viewed it, man. The invasion happened a long time ago. You guys saw it. Some of you were there for that. We saw it happen. Titan sure did. I know Titan was there. We saw the invasion. We've been, and then once you wrap your head around that, it's not so hard to realize, okay, what do farmers do? Well, they protect their livestock to a certain extent, but they also modify it. Here's another thing I realized. Why are we so small? Hi, Gemini. Why are we so small? If you've ever seen how big life gets in the universe, if you've ever seen that chart, we're on the small end. When we know that there were giants here, and that there were like a range of very small to very, very tall people that they lived here. So we know that. So obviously, I think we've been shrinking. But here's, I think, maybe one of the reasons why. What do you do to get a teacup poodle? You take the smallest of the large dogs and you breed the smallest and smallest and smallest until you get a little teacup poodle. I think that's kind of been happening. I think we started out a lot bigger. I think we were probably, most of us, Tartarian size. At least like 7, 8 feet tall. And some of us 10, just like the Zulu. Well, it depends on what your values are and what's happening. I mean, also, you'll notice that, I don't know if you realize this. Boy, this itches tonight, this band. It's pretty, but it itches. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but somebody drew my attention to it a long time ago. Somebody who had a lot of time to observe this. He was a kid. He says, do you know that what happens to house flies? They don't get bigger as they get older, they get smaller. It's weird. They get smaller and smaller, and then eventually they die. And then I read that little tiny gnats are basically the same genus as the housefly. They're just small versions. Well, here's an interesting thing. The less food they get, the smaller they get. I've noticed this. If we went through a time period when food was very scarce, people would get smaller, and the smaller ones would be able to survive. The bigger ones would not be able to find enough mass to support their bodies. Yeah. Well, that is a thought, Titan. Yeah, I think they were all along all the sizes, but then we check the DNA, we find out they're human. They're human. They're human. The giants were human. Some of these giants were human. Rogers checked the DNA. They're human. They're related to us. So, hmm. So Gemini's in, that's good. I think maybe it was a combination of things. Or perhaps they've been breeding us small because they don't need us large, and small is easier to control. One of the ways they do that is by making it a social norm that guys look for tiny little women. Oh, I want a tiny, cute, little, frail little woman. And it's like, but the smaller you marry, the smaller you're bringing smaller and smaller genes into your line. So eventually, even if you're tall, you might have some throwbacks, but then you're going to have Linda's situation where, but she's only 5'2". So yeah, that'd be another way you'd get the population would get smaller. Just a thought. There's ways that these things happen, and it's been occurring in my mind. If you were, on the other hand, if you were constantly picking out the tallest, strongest person like they do in some parts of the world, you would be breeding taller, stronger people. And if you had also an abundant food supply to support that, like you would maybe around the equator or in various protected pockets, you might find that, the people would be taller. It's a thought. So really, some of us probably were these giants. So we really have to think about, when you think about the grays, the small grays, they're obviously underlings. They were obviously bred to be that way. They were obviously bred small. That's what I think. I think they were bred small on purpose so that you could keep them under control better. Mm-hmm. Nothing against tiny people. Nothing against you. It's just that trying to figure out how we ended up being so, how this happened when we're all human. I mean, not every single creature here is human, but all of those ranges of human. How does this happen? Well, this is how it happens. No, there are. This is nothing against shorter people. This is just that I think it's been unnaturally done to us. Short people got no reason. Yeah, this is not it's not your fault that any of this happened, or maybe it is. Maybe you were one of the people who started breeding this way. I don't know. But it's just, I'm thinking, yeah, small, if our cats, think of your house cat, think of people who own the really big dogs, in fact, what it takes to feed them. I mean, you better be rich. If you own a great big dog, you better have some money to feed that thing, or he's going to eat you in the end. If you die, I hate to tell you, but your animals will probably end up eating you if nobody finds you right away and they get hungry. somewhere down the line, they're going to determine you're dead, and that means you're food, and you're going to. It's happened before, you know. I mean, that sadly, somebody did tell me about her husband killed himself with cyanide, and over a weekend, and she was gone while she was gone, and he wanted her to find him, but he'd been partly eaten by the dogs. They had several dogs, and with nobody to feed him, well, they loved him, but you know, he's dead. And you know, the animals are like very practical that way. You know. A dachshund mixed with a German Shepherd. Oh God. Ah. See, that's just it. It's why I'm a tall girl, and it's funny, the tall guys, they're looking for 5'2". Why? Don't answer that in a dirty way. No, somebody made extensive jokes about that. I didn't shrink. Actually, I was playing all these tones and everything. You know what? The funny thing is, I didn't shrink. I grew. I was 5'7 3/4" and ended up 5'10" in the last few years. In the morning. Then in the evening, your bones start to compress and you get shorter. So it depends on if they're measuring you in the morning or the evening. The other thing is how dancers can gain, and I did dance a lot for a while, can gain inches because it's the muscles spread everything out, and you end up a little bit taller than you would be otherwise. Yeah, my cousins, I had one branch of the family. They were all 6'6.5" and above. So I had those genes on my mother's side, on my uncle, one of my uncles' boys. He and all of his boys were tall. It was like standing with that branch of the family was like being in a forest. It's like, hi guys, and I wasn't short. What happened to Drake? Yeah, well, he's probably working. Oh, 6'7". See, yeah, the Swedish. It's eating those Swedish meatballs, baby. Anyway. Yeah, the Scandinavians were taller, but you know what? It's funny because in a colder environment, in a little rougher environment, some of these societies, they wanted bigger people. They had a tendency to pick out bigger mates. They wanted, you wanted a big, strong woman because you needed her to be able to lift her part of the load. In some of these climates where they had a lot of work to do, the bigger the better. The bigger, stronger, the better. I mean, and look at even being glad to be related to Bigfoot. There you go again. The values are not the same all over the world. Having a Sasquatch in your tribe who can do the work of 7, 10, that would be a big benefit. And, they're not so much into this prissy stuff as they are what kind of value am I getting here? What can you do? It's not just, how do you look? So really, she had children by Russian men. There was a famous Bigfoot who had children by Russian men, and they were considered Russian citizens because they're our relatives. They're not a separate species, really. Well, after the last couple of 100 years, not everybody. I don't think that's true, Titan. I don't believe it. You know why? We've got pictures. We've also got pictures proving that there were a lot taller people. We've got architecture proving that there were a lot taller people. They didn't build these buildings for tiny little people like us. These buildings were built for tall people. I think they're lying to us. I think they're lying to us about that. I think it's a smokescreen. I don't believe history really does show. Remember, our history has been messed with. We've been lied to. It's obvious we've been lied to. Don't let this trip you up. Yes, you'd be right if you went by standard history, but we can't go by that. We can't, because we know they've lied. This is a lie. Most of our history is a lie. Obviously, look at Tartaria. Look at that. Look at the buildings that are left that they keep basically destroying the evidence so they can tell us this crap. No, I think we were a lot taller at one time. I think that was us. We can't believe anything that these people say. We can't. No. We've caught them in too many lies. Too many lies. But you'd be right. Except it's a lie. What we've been told. I'd be arguing the same thing. Except the real evidence, the stuff that they're trying to destroy, says otherwise. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Having a decent food supply plays into it too. Yeah. I mean, well, not just our government. It's been a lot of government. It's been a worldwide cover up. That's funny. Yeah, I'm just saying, it could be we were those people. They could be us. Maybe they didn't all die. Maybe that, I'm thinking they're still here. They're just not quite as tall as they used to be. The genetics are still here. We get, like you're looking at, we still get throwbacks. That's what I'm thinking. Because you get anomalous like that, that's a throwback. You can have teacup poodles, and you can have them have larger. You can get throwbacks. You can have somebody come up with even when the blonde and the blue eyes have been practically bred out of a line, you can still have somebody show up with blonde hair and blue eyes. That's what I'm saying. So this should actually prove my theory. Thanks to food. Yeah. Yeah, we don't know what we think we know. And to quote Mark Twain said, or Samuel Clemens, it's not just the things, it's in my song. It's not just the things that we don't know, it's the things that we know that just ain't so. Or in other words, the things we think we know really aren't true. We think we know some things. Do we? Do we really? Do we? Hard to be sure. Some of us have gone, and my dream was all about finding the way home. I was looking for the way home. I had a friend in the car. I was going to let him drive, but he said, no, you got to drive. Okay. I was trying to find the way home. And there were a lot of bad turns, you know, that I could have made, that I almost made, that I kept myself from making. Trying to find the way home. Today is a 555, and that is change. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Okay, that is very cool. Yes. Tesla figures into this mix, and some people say Tesla was made up and blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I think, though, that he did remember some of the stuff rather than just come up with it out of nowhere. I think he remembered, if some of you can understand what I mean by that. Right. Blue eyes are not a genetic. As a matter of fact, if we all mix, pretty soon, blue eyes, blonde hair is going to be all gone. Because the dark genes are dominant. Hey, Albie. What's it all about, Albie? Yeah, roller coaster of energy. Roller coaster. Da 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 da. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, hi. You know, the whole thing is, well, like I said, the dark genes are dominant. So really, you know, don't throw away your old stonewashed Levi's. Anyway, you leave my jeans alone. Yeah, so you know, we got to think about all of this. Like we've been sold a false bill of goods so often, you know. We got to heal all this. We've got to heal our thinking. We've got to stop expecting the worst. We've got to un-Murphy's Law everything, okay? And it starts with us because we're the creators. I'm sorry, we're the co-creators. You know, we are. We're creators. We create a lot of this. Yeah, Austria. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, weird behavior. Yeah, I wonder about that too. It seems to me like certain things are being bred out, like they're trying to breed certain things out. And I certainly think that they're trying to, that old people are to be gotten rid of because we don't want people to remember anything. Seems to me people that remember anything before, like I do, I remember some stuff that happened before that doesn't follow the narrative at all. But we're to be gotten rid of because, they want you to believe the story. People want, there is a story that you are to believe, and if you don't believe that story, then it goes against the plan. But it's worse. Yeah. Oh, I know. And people are argumentative. Well, this is my proposal. Marry me, all of you. I always wanted a harem. No, that isn't the proposal. No. Um, shall we have a group healing session for the Dane Bramaged? Our next healing. Should we intend to heal this brain damage? Yeah, because we're all sitting here, Dane Bramage. If the flora don't work, the vaccination will. Woo, 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 woo. It doesn't have to instantly kill. I've been hearing that song. Yeah. Drake, he's like, blood and gore and veins in the teeth. Like from Alice's restaurant. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we need to heal our Dane Bramage because the indications are, and you can heal brain damage. Yes, you can replace brain cells. Oh, yeah, it can happen. People have done it. People have come back from severe brain damage. Yep. And we can do it because we're not that bad off. Well, some of us might be. I don't know. But we can do it. Strangling bad drivers with their. A little harder with a girl. But yeah, that's another song. Yep. I've just got to figure out how to do it so that I don't get it wiped immediately. Yeah. Hi. Todd, where have you been? You've been so long. Where you been so long? We've been putting out the fire with gasoline. That's one of my man David wrote that. I've been listening to some of David's songs. He's wanted me to hear some of his stuff. Oh, so fucking relevant. Pardon my French. So freaking relevant. A lot of it, it's like, Yeah, a lot of us don't know. I am lucky that I was told stories, but only as far as the great grandparents. Beyond that, I don't know. Yeah, I'm lucky. I got as far back as the great grandparents. Beyond that, there was nobody who knew. And I think during the Great Depression, a lot of stuff got lost, as it usually does in things like that. You're in for the healing too. Okay. We're going to start this long road back, and you know what that means. If you've seen anybody recovering from brain damage, it's not a simple thing. It requires a lot of patience. You have to keep at it, and you have to relearn how to do everything. Right. He was playing my guitar in the middle of the night. He was strumming the strings, and yep. Yes, a lot of our elders are gone, and they're trying to get rid of the rest of them. Because, I mean, really, what did it get? Got mostly aged and sick so that the memories are gone. Now I can only hear it from my deceased ones. Good for you, Gemini. That's cool, Linda. Yeah, me too. I talk to them. They talk to me a lot. Yeah, and you know what? Isn't it amazing that a lot of these historical buildings that are, by the way, made out of stone, and they're destroyed in fires? We make ovens out of stone. People traditionally made ovens out of stone because it's not fireproof. It's fireproof. It's not flammable. How could some of these huge stone buildings have been destroyed into rubble by a freaking fire? No, that is not what happened. Ugh. A fourth Spanish Roma, a fourth German Hungarian. I'm half Viking, yeah. Right. On my father's side, I know that my great grandmother and my great grandfather, both worked in the palace with royalty. So they would have had to been nobility in order to have jobs like they did, because one was a royal. She was a royal hairdresser. He was the royal clockmaker. So they were both skilled people, which kind of makes sense how I happened. And then on my mom's side, there were the musicians and artists. The skilled people came from my dad's side. The artists came from my mom's side. So that's where all that came from. Yeah, directed energy weapons, plasma, something like that. Yeah, fires don't melt stone. A normal fire is not going to melt stone. Hey, Les. Yeah, a normal fire doesn't melt stone. That's bullshit. Yeah. Well, hence all these melted cities. These cities that look like they were singed on top and melted. I mean, some of them, it's real obvious. That one that I showed you. I always wondered this as a kid. Why do these places look singed? Why do they look burned? Why do they look melted? Because they were. The obvious. Occam's razor. Well, maybe they were. And now we have reason to believe, yeah, hell yeah, they were. Yeah. Yeah, my mom's side were the artists and the Native Americans. And I guess musicians and artists all throughout my family. And seers on both sides. So, yeah, some nice plasma will do fine. You can melt buildings with plasma. Sure. Yeah, I think you might be right about that too. I've thought of that, Gemini. And by the way, Todd, it's good to see you. I was on a couple of times hoping you'd show up. What I would like to do, Todd, is if you would get with me and can we have a day that we set aside and let people know that you're going to be on that day? Because that way I can do what everybody else does and advertise it a little bit and say, hey, we have a guest. And then people can actually show up for it. Right? So, so if you want to be on, let's plan a day. Let's advertise it like everybody else does and let people know you're going to do it. That means you too, Pam. Pam. If you're still here, you're probably lurking, you lurker. Yes. Yeah, you can melt just about anything with plasma. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, cross-religion marriages, and some of the names changed on the point of a sword. Some of those Christians be Christian Christensen. Some of those people took Christian names just so they wouldn't die, or the family wouldn't die. Yeah, you have to have a very high temperature. A normal fire wouldn't do that, though. There's only certain things. It takes a while. That's how you know somebody has to be sufficiently advanced, for instance, to make steel. Certain things take a certain amount of heat, and you'd have to know how to do that without burning yourself. I mean, they were making steel swords, but they weren't making steel for the buildings for a while. Because, well, and everything can liquefy. And some of these obviously didn't exactly burn, they liquefied. Everybody lurks, everybody hides, everybody peeks sometimes. Oh. Maybe Titan, yeah. I'm trying to get it together. So I'm asking your guides to get together with my guides, have your girl get together with my girl, and have your guides get together with my guides, and we'll all get together, and we'll put our heads together, and some of you guys have more than one. But, there's some heads you want to leave out of this. But yeah, knives forged out of meteorite. Yeah, you got to realize we have quite a lot to repair, quite a lot of healing to do. However, and it may be, it takes. I don't think it will take quite as much long hard work because we have a deadline. we're going to have to hope that we can move fast. But I guess in effect, one of the things you do is you have to learn to crawl before you can learn to walk again. And I guess you have to learn a few things before you can fly again. Might have to learn how to levitate before you can fly. I don't know. I'm looking forward to flying. I have way too many. Hi, Lewis. Hi. You know what? It doesn't matter. My friend Paul is not a very tall guy. He's very smart, though. He's about the size he was when he was in. He's about the same height that he was back when we were in Tibet. They can crack, yeah. Why, some of the stones, maybe. Or a flood on top of a fire would explain it. It's just bricks scattered everywhere. No, that doesn't come from a fire. And cities melted. That doesn't come from a normal fire. Hey. Yeah, Lewis, I see you. Yeah, there was a type of fire the Greeks had that we don't know how they made it. It was probably plasma. Nearly Mother's Day. Oh, that's right. And I'm Mama D. Hey, I get to be an honorary mom. I'm an honorary mother. I can celebrate Mother's Day now. My mother is gone long ago, but no, she still visits. Okay, I'm going to ask for what we do to get our brain, to heal our brain damage, our Dane damage, and how we heal the matrix psychosis and the inverted matrix psychosis, because we really got to let go of the inverted matrix somehow. Oh, Todd, your daughter is due her baby in 2 weeks. Oh, cool. Our sweet, wrinkly mommy. Gee, that gets you extra points. Thanks a lot. Lewis, we're talking about, well, you kind of have to replay to hear some of it, but I'm not the only one who's got the message. I guess several other people have gotten this message that actually we're suffering brain damage. We have every time you get your memory wiped, there's brain damage. It's a type of brain damage. Yeah, Linda, we saw that. We know what we know, the directed energy weapons. Yeah, Greek fire. Yeah. Probably was something like napalm. So we have to stop waking up waiting for that shoe to drop on us. We have to stop. We have to wake up insisting that the inverted matrix is gone, dead, that the infection that we had is dying, dead, that it is And all we have is residue. We're just cleaning residue up. Yeah, people are spacey. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Aaron, I hope most of you know this. And also, some sources are saying now that the vax is out there. Remember, this is just in game. This has nothing to do with the real world, which is outside of the matrix, by the way. We're in the matrix, so this is just in-game advice. It's going to work in our favor to not touch people who have had the vaccine. Because in this game, the vaccine changes you in more ways than just physically. It starts to develop a different mind. And I think this is why we heard tales of rabies. Because, I mean, rabies can actually shoot holes. And what does this thing do? It burrows. It's a worm. It's a parasite. All it does is burrow. All it does is make holes. What it does is make holes. Now, that's basically what rabies does. So, and one person they showed her how it was going to feel if you would, after a while, what the end result was going to be. And it's like, you're in pain. You don't care. You don't notice. Yeah, scary things are happening. Oh, well, it's scary. I'm scared. I don't care. It's like, I got to get to work. You know, robot. AFib, yeah. You can stand on religious grounds, by the way. Some people have managed to not take it because of religious grounds. I believe you, Aaron. And I have, unfortunately, I have friends who have had it. And I have one who came over who I found out had the worst one. And he was sick for a while and had a terrible rash from it, he said, all over his neck. And I said, well, why did you do that? Well, I wanted to say that, but I couldn't because he's too goofy. I'm sorry, but this guy shoots himself in the foot all the time. I'm sorry, but he does. I'm sorry, Aaron. But it doesn't surprise me. That's interesting, Lewis. Yeah, it changes people spiritually because, as John would say if he was here, it targets the G8, genome 8, which is our connection with God. Yeah. Hi again, Strange Land, Todd. Right. Yeah, they aren't really. That's and it was, Magenta Pixie that was saying that they let her feel what it was going to feel like. She says, wow, I never want to feel that way again. And I think I've experienced something like that when you undergo brain fog. Fibro fog is bad enough because you sit there and the fibro fog. I could read the words off to you. I could read paragraphs. The way I know when I have fibro fog is I'll read paragraphs and not know what they mean. I'll read a food label and not know what it means. I'll read instructions and not know what to do. That's what it does. It just can't make the connection between A and B. Yeah, that's what that is. But what does it mean? Now, in my normal state, it's like it goes very fast. Aha, this means that. When the fibro fog hits, it's like, the fuck does that mean? Take 2 pills 3 times a day. Okay. Yeah, that's what it's like. 2 pills. So what am I doing? That's what it was like. Horribly scary. It's like I couldn't see the connections and I couldn't see the consequences. Fortunately, that almost never happens now, or a much milder version. My God, that scares the crap out of me, though. Yeah. But there are a couple ways you can get out of it. One of them is you're horribly allergic to the adjuvants. Remember that one. The other one is you can claim religious grounds, because some people have successfully done that. Of course, they're going to find ways of isolating us, but, we're probably going to want to do that anyway. Chances are we're going to want to isolate ourselves from these people at some point. Then we're going to be the ones walking around with pool noodles and masks and gloves. Don't touch me, man. Yeah, I believe that, Justin. That is that's a lot of heat can be generated by something falling into our atmosphere. Tunguska, yeah. However, in the Tunguska crater, they've also found radioactive material. So was it really what they say it was? Or was it something else? So is that really historically accurate? Or is that a spun story? Or did somebody drop a nuke? And so they will say, oh, but then we have proof that meteorites can cause radioactive material. Oh, really? Is that true? I wonder. Or could that be another lie? Good, Lewis. I'm glad. Wow. Yeah. I think it's DNA coding, actually. That's my guess. Yeah, if you can claim that you are very allergic to the adjuvants, if you have allergies, bad allergies like I do, And you say, oh, I could go into anaphylactic shock. Very dangerous. It's true. Wrong thing can put me in anaphylactic shock. Well, then they can't expect you to do it. But somebody still tried to talk me into it. But wouldn't it be easier to just go through and be sick for a while than to have a disease that could change your life forever? And I'm there like, well, I think having my DNA changed by a vax would change not only my life forever, but my whole freaking lineage if I still was able to have children. Yeah, I think I'll give it a miss. Thanks. Yeah, you have a lot of allergies. You can say, oh no, I'm terribly afraid of the adjuvants would probably do me in. Yeah, we need protection from vaccine and your shungite. Oh, and we may not have to program our black stones anymore because they're getting pre-programmed now. They may already be starting to be programmed to do that as we get them, because stones are kind of funny. I guess they start sharing qualities, just like, the 100th monkey or whatever. Ah, interesting. Yeah, the next phase is a microchip. There you go. Oh, Titan, good theory. I like that one. Makes sense. Yes, blood transfusion can. And that's why they knock people out to get blood transfusions transfused into them, is because you can start feeling whatever the person is feeling who is giving you blood. Right, Lewis. Yeah, the invisible tattoo, only visible in ultraviolet. Yeah. So, okay, so yeah, for us, wear your black stones. If you don't have some, get some. Some of them are pretty cheap. Some of them are cheap, like tourmaline. Shungite, I'm going to get us some shungite, some bigger shungites. I'm going to start making some shungite jewelry. Get it before it gets expensive. If we get the shungite before it gets expensive, that'd be good, because it will be more expensive on down the line. Yeah, an organ transplant also. Yeah, they have found that organ transplants can do that too. It's true. In fact, it makes sense to me. It makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, it stands to reason. If you can do psychometry, if you can hold something in your hand, and you can, that's another place you guys can start getting your powers back. Practice psychometry. You can do this just, with a friend, if you can find a friend that's willing to help you with this. I mean, if you have anybody in your life like that. Psychometry is where you pick up an object and you hold it, and you can see where it's been and what it's done. You can see something of the history of it and read it. And practicing that might be another good exercise Yeah, way to get your abilities back. Exercise, I call it. Exercise. Because that starts you looking at the past, starts you looking at being able to look at the past. And as we look at the past, haven't we found that almost everything we've been told is a lie? This is how we can start to develop the ability to look at what has happened in the past and correctly read it. I still think that they, like the little Martian from Looney Tunes, is, you know, the angry drivers turned into Martians, and they're got some X5 modulator. Yeah, I was thinking that too. They would not be drones, and they would not assimilate. The Tartarians would not assimilate, and so they were wiped off the map. And they're just a small place called, a very small place that are still the Tartars. Yep, people suddenly want a Big Mac that never wanted one before, that were raw vegan. Yeah, oh, well, I was going to schedule that, Linda. I was going to talk about it tonight and schedule it for another night. But I'm giving you some things that you can do at home to prepare for that. I think we should do it for our next new moon. And then you're all warned that this next new moon ceremony, this is the intention. We're going to start. We can even start the intention now. Now remember, when we plan it, we are already putting things into motion. So things are already going to start happening because we've already set our intentions. Okay? So we've already dropped this into the future. So our new moon ceremony is going to be about this healing. So that's why I'm saying this in advance. Your guides, my guides, will all have a chitty chat around the campfire and have the information come to us that we need to do this, to perform. What do we need to do? So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your messages from spirit. You know, so we have time for them to give us information to know what to do. We can start putting it into effect so we can be ready. We're going to make a big push towards this, if that is what is advised. And we're going to ask our guides for help because we probably can't do this all by ourselves. May 11th, okay? So we know that round and about 5 days, right around 5 days, we're going to be doing some healing work. We will also give it another push at the full moon. Yeah, I'm hearing all kinds of stories about what it's done to people. This is really wrecking people right and left. It's not, you know, I'm just waiting. You know, Gardasil was perfectly safe until people were dying. So, you know. Good night, Pam. Or is Pam, see, I didn't see it. It skipped. Let me see. Ah, Pam is saying good night. Okay, good night, Pam. Have a good night, dear. Yeah. Okay. So basically that's what I'm asking for. I'm asking, and I'm calling for this. I'm talking to your guides right now, having my guides talk to your guides, telling you consciously that this is to just get this in your mind, that we are going to wipe this brain damage out. We're going to beat this. We're going to beat it. We are getting our abilities back. We are healing the brain damage. We are healing the matrix psychosis. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for being who you are and stepping up and admitting to who you are. Takes some guts, you know. I want you to know I really appreciate it. Being out here alone doing this was really rough before you came along. The criminal stuff, I know, criminal, definitely. Absolutely criminal. You've been hit by a smooth criminal. Where is Annie? We haven't seen Annie. At the risk of pissing her off, I hope Annie's okay. Might have to get in touch, see if we can get in touch with Annie and see if she's okay. Right, you know, I'm 62 and willing to take my chances without the vax. I'm willing to take my chances. I'd rather right. I'm not gonna crack. What was that, Nirvana? I'm not gonna crack. I'm not gonna crack. Lithium. I think that was lithium. Yes. And listen to some David Bowie. Want to know what's going on? Actually, one of the ones that's been coming up is cat people. Makes sense. My daughter's a Lyran. Yep. I once drew a picture. I realized this only later. If I can only find the picture, I hope I can. I drew a picture of a merman, a Triton. And I realize as I think about it now, it was Bowie. And, you know, the more I think about what it looked like in my mind, it was Bowie. It looked like him a lot. I wish I could find, I hope I can find that. I'm going to set an intention that I find my art soon, that it shows up. Oh, really? 65 years young. Oh boy, when they start calling you young, then you know you've aged. But congratulations, Linda. Yay, 65, different rules. Somebody once told me when you're 65, you can make as much as you want to make. They would have to ban the compensation program if they keep. Yeah, well, comeback special needs, yeah. Congratulations. We're going to have to sing to Linda. By the way, Cinco de Mayo! Cinco de Mayo! Are you celebrating Cinco de Mayo? I celebrated Cinco de Mayo by ordering a pizza. That's very Mexican, right? No. I haven't had a pizza in a while. I really, really wanted a pizza. Yeah. What some people are seeing in the future is we end up in basically two worlds. As we wake up, a lot of us end up moving to intentional communities. and forming our little communities, but not before we do that within the bigger community. Like wherever we are, we start forming our bonds. Later on, we end up having all these intentional communities that believe the same way and won't do the vax, won't do the, we want the earth ships, the non-GMO food, the organic stuff, the more simple living, and so on and so forth. And then the city folk who take the chip and the vax and the, all of that stuff. And gradually they kind of separate. And it almost looks like one of the things like the Mormons, Not that we're going to turn into Mormons or anything, but I mean, I think some of us will revise the Antiquitech. Some of us will bring back the Antiquitech. And I don't think it's going to be that hard to do. I think some people will start to remember, like Tesla did, how to make the Antiquitech. We'll intend that too, that the Antiquitech comes back to light for us. Yes. And that will be part of the splitting, of the bifurcation and the trifurcation. So, yeah, Mexican pizza. I can't have the peppers and tomatoes, so. So I ordered a nice white sauce pizza. Alfredo. I like mine Alfredo. Yeah, it's not going to work though, Titan, because some of us are probably going to get more tribal. Right. Well, people like us that think like we do are obviously going to want to hang with people who think like we do. Because trying to talk to some of these people is just damn impossible. You can't hardly have a conversation, except maybe about the weather, and even that gets into tricky territory. You can't talk about very much to some people. From my point of view, there's even people I used to always trust and be able to talk. I can't talk to them. Some people, I can't believe that some people, if I say anything good about Red Guy, the Red Leader, I can't say anything positive at all about him. But I'll tell you right now, he's up to something. He didn't know how deep the swamp was, and he didn't know what was down there. He thought he did. But now that he's got a better picture, he's not going to hit it head on. He's going to come around another way, and he's going to show back up again. I'm not saying he's going to swoop in and be and save us, that the cavalry's going to come save us. No, it still looks like we're going to have to do a lot of saving of ourselves. But we're going to get help. Yeah, everything is political. We're going to get help. We're going to get help too from outside forces. We're going to get help from our guides, our other worldly guides. We're going to get help from our off-world guides. We're going to get help from maybe even, who knows, our earth guides. I don't know. Wherever they are coming from, we're going to get some help. I'm very certain of that. But what they always say, my guides always say the same thing, and so does the Galactic Council. Various people have talked to this. They've talked to the Galactic Council. This is a thing, and some people think that's goofy too. You can't mention that to most people. I have to say, I'm tired of these backroom deals where we get dirty. They're dirty deals done dirt cheap, right? Yeah, we have to do things at the grassroots. Trump isn't over. It's not over. It's not over. I'm telling you. You know what? Bomber doesn't like him. It's weird. I know people that they're kind of like us, and yet, and it's not that I think he's a cuddly teddy bear. It's just that I think he's a leader. He's an actual leader, a strong one, you know. And he went through 2 trials. They couldn't find anything wrong. Makes him the cleanest guy in Washington. And he still got in trouble. Look what happened. There are people, I'm telling you, once the press says you're dirty, it's over. In some people's minds, that's it. You're done. What the press says is what is. But he's going to make a comeback. But he's going to do it in a roundabout way. And all of a sudden, and there won't see it coming. Canada's being sold to China, so is the U.S. There are people telling me now that about 1/4 of California belongs to China. And probably, and there are other places too. Yeah. Yeah, because you know what? The politics didn't work, did it? But what have I been saying for years? Vote with your money. What we buy and don't buy. What we buy and refuse to buy. That's going to be a factor in all this. What we refuse to put money into and what we put money into, that will count. Oh yeah, Saudi's got interests here. And I've got a friend who's very spiritually inclined, but he doesn't, I can't say a good word about Trump. And he thinks that Russian oligarchs are involved. He's worried about Russian oligarchs. I'm like, we're on bad terms with Russia right now. We need not to be. That's not good. Putin is a leader. Okay, whatever else you think of him, he is a leader and a strong one. And being on the wrong side of Putin is not good. At least we were okay. Right? We were okay with them. We weren't at odds. Now what are we into? Now they're getting us into bad relations with Russia. And Russia has a strong leader, unlike us now. I'm trying to read this. Oh, why would we choose to come to this planet? Soul growth is very F-upped. Yeah, it might be a lot faster. Well, heck, there are beings that still have all their abilities. We're the slow kids. We've been brain damaged. And so you've also got to have some understanding of other people. Remember, they're brain damaged and they don't even know it. At least you know what happened to you. And you can start to try and you can start to fix it. You can start to heal it. They don't know. So they can't even begin to heal it. Because they think they're normal. What? Military is weak and men being forced to wear high heels? What? What are you talking about, Mary? I hope that's a joke. Yeah. I would rather have given California to Russia. Well, rather than China. Jeez. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got the joke. I get it. Who's forced to wear high heels? What? Are you kidding? You're kidding, right? It's not a joke. Yeah, China's more draconian. It's true. Putin is still human. I have a feeling Putin is still human because he's actually ratted on them. He's actually said some of these people aren't even human in one of his speeches. He spilled the beans. Some of the people aren't even human. He said it right out. He's not afraid to say things like that. Yeah, at least Russia is human. And Sasquatch. That's true. Some of us came back here to find out what the F happened to the Matrix. Because people weren't graduating and we were seeing all these corrupted files coming across my desk. And people not graduating. But we fixed some of that. We may have to do another dive like that. I don't know. We may have to do another dive to free people again. Let me know if you're up to that. I will need backup on that. I'll do it, but I'll need backup. If I am directed to do it. But otherwise, I'm not. I'm not until I'm sure that that is what I'm supposed to do. Because that took a toll on me. It was emotionally very rough to watch. A lot of our history is not very pretty. And it's certainly not what we've been told. I will reiterate, we must constantly remind ourselves our history is not what we've been told, whatever we've been told. And when you talk about when we're cavemen and then we finally would have had the technology, but bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. We haven't been cavemen in billions of years. Humans have been around for billions of years. If that happened, it happened so far back, it wasn't when they told us. Not that there weren't some primitive people. Obviously there were. But that wasn't us. No, humans have been around far longer. The DNA proves it. And other things. And when the truth comes out, we're going to find that out. It's going to be blatantly obvious. And there will be people, oh yeah, caveman would have been way, and on another planet, by the way, in our case. Now the Cro-Mags or whatever, that would be different. But it's not the same. True. The only thing that could unite us is an enemy from outside our world. Yeah. Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Right. Right, Linda. It's like, whatever you want to do, it's between you and God. Well, yeah, high heels can be weapons in more ways than one. But you know how many times I was out? They were not wearing stilettos. I'll tell you one place you don't want to wear stilettos. On those old brick roads and cobbled streets, you do not want to be wearing stilettos. And on lumpy pavement, you do not want to be wearing stilettos. I have seen so many women, because remember, I was a street corner musician for a long time. How many women in stilettos do you think I saw get injured and lose their shoes? And then you know what? I remember one lost her shoe, and then a guy bent down and ran away with it, and she couldn't walk. She had to take off her other shoe too, and she couldn't chase him. And I'm like, well, this is why you don't wear stilettos, duh. Wear stilettos in a photograph, then take them off. Yeah, it's true, Barry. The switch to robotics has already happened in some people. Yeah, that's another thing. You better learn to walk in those. I know that there are a lot of drag queens out there that are great at this and they don't care, but they're just amazing at walking around on high heels. But I tell you, those things are dangerous. You try to walk down a runway with some of these damn shoes. A lot of models are getting stress fractures from these damn stilettos and damn weird shoes. They have to walk on in a slippery runway. Lucky we haven't had more of them. Oh, there are a lot of non-humans. We know this. We already saw it. We got to start believing what we saw. That's another thing. We got to start trusting ourselves a little more. Yeah, high heels are just, oh. And I can't believe that when I was younger, I walked to school on ice with high heel platform shoes on. And we did fall. We had to be really careful, but we did fall. Yeah. Some guys like it. Like I said, some guys like that stuff. I know a guy, he liked women. He didn't like guys, but he liked women's underwear. He liked wearing women's underwear because they're silky and they feel good. Yeah. Before the Egyptians. Yeah, well, you know what? That's it. It's like in a nuclear arms race, nobody wins. If it ever goes off, we all lose. Oh, then we wiped out the human race. Gee, how proud you must be. I think most of us remember Atlantis. That's why Atlantis is such a big thing. Most of us have some memories left of Atlantis. They just can't erase them. They just can't erase them. They can't erase all of them. Too deep. Fountain of Youth for sickos, yeah. Here's another song. Do you remember me in Atlantis? Maybe I should write that one. Do you remember me? We were in Atlantis. A lot of us did. A lot of people did, Barry. I mean, Lewis. There you go. The vaccine makes you wear high heels. At least it can do is make you good at karaoke. If the vaccine's going to make you wear high heels, the least it can do is make you good at karaoke. I say the same thing, Titan. Same thing. At least make you look good in an evening gown and be able to sing karaoke. Do you remember? 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 That's all I remember that song. On and on. On and on. I gotta find the words to that. Maybe I need to sing that one. Statutory rape? You talk about statutory rape? Yeah. Yeah, it is, Albie. Forcing a vax is like a rape, yeah. Not just a rape of a person, though. It's a rape of a genome. Rape of our whole damn culture. It's a rape of our whole damn... rape of our whole damn... genocide. Genocide. It is. It's genocide, and it's being allowed. So we got to get out of this, okay? We've got to get to the point where we disallow that. That is the dying matrix. That is the inverted matrix. I think there's some things that they just can't wipe. They just can't wipe it entirely. It's too deep. Yeah. It'll probably come up. I think that's one of the things. David's around. I get so many songs since David's been around. Oh, really, Barry? Well, like I said, Magenta Pixie warns, don't hug them. Don't try to talk to them without wearing a black stone for grounding. And if you're Native American, considering what it means, you might want to look for a flint, a black, like an obsidian arrowhead. Having Cherokee on my mom's side, I found an obsidian arrowhead. I'm going to make a necklace out of it. Okay, Linda, love you. I'm just about to shut her down anyway. We've been on 2 hours. That's long enough. I believe that isn't Portal on. I'll go say hi to Portal people. I'll go say hi to the Portal peeps. And you can too if you want to. I'll see you over there. And for the last hour. And thank you very much for coming. I appreciate you spending your time. I appreciate you being who you are and being honest about it, at least with us. And remember, the lounge is for everybody. You can invite anybody to the lounge, to the Woo Lounge, but the Woo Galactic Woo Crew is for core members like you guys who showed up right here. So please do invite people. And invite them to the lounge, if nothing else. The lounge is safe for everybody. But Galactic Woo Crew is for core. Just letting you know. And please subscribe to Frugal B1TCH because I'm going to be doing some stuff with her in the future. And she needs some, she needs people. So Frugal, Frugal, B1TCH. And that is also a backup in case anything happens here. Okay. Companies wanting funding for weapons and development projects. Yeah. Okay, love you guys. I'm gonna sign off. And remember, the truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some here. Yes, we'll intend that too, Titan. But it might be internal. Our third eyes can see. We'll intend it. And maybe we can get something like that as a crutch for people who can't quite use that yet. Hey, Mary Wen, you came in just at the very end. I'm about to close down. Nice eye, though. Nice eye on your heavy there. Night. I love you all. Remember, you are divine. This is ocean making waves. Now, time for you to go out and make some too. And make them good ones. And I will see you again. Take care.